So I thought of doing this episode for myself since the podcast is already out. I think it's a good opportunity for me to just reintroduce myself and also share a little bit more about why am I doing this? Why am I doing stuff that is super uncomfortable? But yet at the same time, I know this is the opportunity for growth. And so here goes nothing. Let me first get comfortable. It's a little bit daunting, but nothing's more daunting than actually writing a book and publishing my life on a permanent page. So here I am documenting my life and just wanting to share bits and pieces of choices I've made and how far I've come. But I'm here to be a voice for those who might have also been struggling the same. If you're new here, my name is Crystal. Thanks for listening into this episode. So I started Gether knowing that a community is really important for a creative like myself. I think this entire entrepreneur journey has been really fun, but it can also be a very lonely one. And just a bit of the backstory, I did not decide this journey just like that. Where I am today is really accumulated moments of pivoting decisions that got me here. Oftentimes, we think that change needs to happen in a big, huge scale. Like something major in life happens to you and you have to make the 180 changed. While that is also part of life, but I think the journey that I've learned is that change is really few seconds of your life decision and it will pivot you into a new direction that you will never know. So if most of you have known me from work or as a friend, I'm pretty much someone who loves to be in control. I plan and I get disappointed if things don't go according to plan. So I like to be on the wheel, not literally, but I just need to know the direction of things that's going to happen. So the last 10 years was a build up of learning how to be spontaneous, to let go of control, maybe not just the control, to let go of the expectation of any outcome. I started slowlivecreate in 2020, and it's not because I knew very well and clear that this is the direction that I'm going into. I was really new and fresh, coming out from a career that I love so much, but I knew in my spirit that there's something that needs to change. So context for a big part of my life, I'm in the fashion industry. It's the most exciting time I ever had as a young, ambitious girl that comes out from school, earnestly wanting to prove herself. And I know in the fashion industry, it's often not basically you're challenged because you're young. You are inexperienced. It just makes your position harder, and it seems like you have to work really long to get to a position that is well-paid position, recognized in the company, and so forth. So I was grateful that I had that courage to speak up. I knew what I did not want. I knew clearly what I did not enjoy. And I was just going for the things that I do love and I'm strongly confident in. And I think in my earlier days, in my 20s, I would say I'm a woman of my words. I take action in the things that I say I'll do. So when it comes to the work itself, I deliver. I remember in my last few years in the fashion industry, it's it's not because I'm tired of the work. It's not because I stopped enjoying it. It's just because I felt that there's something bigger than myself and I needed to pursue it. Those years were the years that I am looking at my faith, looking to God for answers. And oftentimes I don't just get it. I spend a lot of time alone, just talking to God in my lowest. But yet it's a lot of questionable moments. I question my character, I question my future, and I question my relationships back then. But learning to be alone was something that I had to go through. And I'm really glad that I did because the solitude gave me a lot of time to slow it down and listen to what my heart got to say. I reflect that when I'm at work, I'm constantly chasing for perfection, constantly chasing for basically things to be done. I never really had the time to sit with my own emotions or reflect at my character. So when I started having those brave moments of going to a random bar on my own, I felt that it was needful. It built something in me. I remember clearly in 2014-ish when I was in Hong Kong. I was at a bar. Yeah, and at that age I was like, oh, I'm actually living in Hong Kong. I'm actually gonna start a life in Hong Kong. That was my thought. But at the same time, I knew that something in my spirit kind of broke. It's not brokenness. It's kind of like there was something that was shaped in my life for so many years, and someone just break it and telling me that now it's time to pick up the pieces and do something about it. It was a turning point, turning moment where I felt that, wow, I need to change. I need to change, not in a good way. Like, I needed to pursue something bigger than myself. But I still have questions. I went to church. I find some community. I find some comfort. I seek people who can pray over me again. And all in that 1, 2 years, it made me realize that my identity is no longer should no that it's clear that my identity needs not is not sorry it was clear to me that my identity should not be fixated by the work that I do. I'm not just a visual merchandiser. I'm not just a worker. I'm not just a daughter. I'm not just a girlfriend, but I am the daughter of the Most High. My identity was rooted again. Like, and this time it's so much deeper because when I identify myself as a child of God, everything in the universe seems to make way for me. I remember it was easy and light. I enjoyed myself, like I can fully enjoy myself. I think when we struggle, it's because we are not grounded. We're not grounded in our own skin. There's insecurity when we are shaken by our outward identity. I realized that, hey, God is not interested in how much I'm making. He was more interested in my being. I remember a few nights in that studio Hong Kong, in the Hong Kong home alone. I broke down so many times. I cried to sleep. I prayed. I asked the question, who am I? What am I doing here? What else can I be doing? I think that was when the questions I've asked started to change. Instead of asking, why am I here? I asked God, what can I do now that I'm here? Help me to see, help me to be more intentional. I did not want to waste my time in Hong Kong. I spend every other night I can to meet a friend, to meet someone new. And all in all, I had a great relationship with James. Although it was a long distance relationship, but He is so present with me. And that kind of friendship really centered me as a person as well. I'm not insecure about relationship anymore. Well, there's past trauma. There is incidents that, you flare and then you bring out stuff that we were once broken, right? We were young and we were once broken. But I think repairing was really a huge journey in my life, even right now with him. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that in detail, but I had a good relationship. Whereas for my own self accomplishment was that I'm fully known, fully loved. And that's when I start to dive more into reading the Bible, doing my devotions, just spending time knowing this God again, going to church. I was not a regular yet, but I made choices and decisions to show up whenever I can. Yeah. So I don't want you to picture that perfect girl that already had it all together, but those few years was just me making decisions every waking morning to say, God, more of you, less of me. So, yeah. And I think, fast forward 10 years now, today, looking back, I used to think that I will pass away when I'm at the age of 30, but I have 10 years extra now. Like I've lived a good life in the last 10 years. And nothing is lost. Everything was redeemed and restored. I think one of which is maybe my career, let's say, I mean, since this is still a creative podcast, I never knew I could start something on my own, much more, be recording a podcast here right now. Those younger years was when you just look at what God can do and you be like, wow, no, I want this, I want that. I was like a little girl that was dreaming again, asking God for the most impossible things, having visions and dreams and wonder of what I can be after I left the fashion industry. I tried different things, and then I end up in starting this whole creative journey. I never knew I could draw. Everyone's surprised. Most people think that, oh, I'm instantly talented. I say no, it took me years to build that confidence, to practice, to get where I am today. And I just want to say, social media has a certain way of making things feel so instant, but it's really, really not. I have to emphasize, if it has taken me 10 years to figure things out and I'm still figuring it out, you are not alone. So don't go into social media and think that your life is the end just because someone else is doing better than you. You have to make the choice you want now. Start building a legacy that you want to be remembered for. We have all the tools. We are so different from our parents' generation. We can build a career of our own using a phone, a mic, and social media. I may be in delusion because I'm not strategic. I don't have the know-hows. I'm just showing up in little ways that I can and just believing that this life that I'm in now is exciting. I just want to be there for others. I just want to, I would love to be the person that can encourage someone that it is okay to start again. There's always an opportunity to bounce back, but it will take time and it will take a lot of hard work, a lot of persistency, a lot of nightmares too. But be grateful, maybe also to put this question out there for you. If there's one thing you can change right now for a future that you want, what would it be? Yeah. Think about that one thing in your life right now that you can afford to change or a new habit that you can add so that it will build you up for a future. Don't just let life pass you by. Don't just work heedlessly. Be intentional when you are in your working environment. And if you're a believer like me, your marketplace is your ministry. You can do you to reach out to one more person for Jesus. The other thing that I may want to put it out here also is that life has different expectancies. What I've learned is that we need to be adaptable, to be fluid so that growth can happen. I don't think we can grow if we are stiff, if we are rigid, because you're not allowing yourself to move. If we are so, it's like holding something so tight. When you're holding something so tight in your fist, there's no way, you know, anything can pass through. There's no way for change. But if you hold it lightly, there's air, that's like this, yeah, there's just this light weighted movement that you can feel. And that's where you allow change to really happen in and through your life. I hope this encouraged someone today that you are allowed to give yourself permission to slow it down, live well in the moment, and create something that's for yourself. Create something that's meant for you. We are not lost. We are just trying to figure it out. And it's okay because nobody gets it right. It takes time. It takes confidence. It takes time. It takes courage. And then it takes confidence to grow. Yeah, I think that's about it that I would like to share. And stay tuned for the next series. We will be talking about rebuilding businesses or rebuilding our life together with 3 other girlfriends. Again, we have no solid plans, but we just know there's a date that we are coming together, 29th of April. So if you're available on that weekday, come and join us for a conversation. If not, maybe just tune in to this podcast because I think the next series will be really juicy.